I don't know what that is. Oh, that's my my sticker hanging. Good afternoon, Facebook. This is Regina Adams coming at you with another busted but blessed Big Mama message. Now, people are going to get mad at me about this message, and to be honest, I don't care, because when someone has been stalking you for 10 years, first it was her son. I'm sorry, let me clarify this. My name is Regina Adams, and I'm the one who punched Loretta Jones in the face. She started paying her son August 1st, 2013 to start stalking me and my daughter. I have filed police reports. I have emailed the church. And most recently, in the past year, I found out that she was the one that has been orchestrating all the attacks, paying for all the attacks against me and my daughter. She's been online teaching people how to hack my phone, teaching people how to move against me spiritually, paying people to come around me and my daughter to smoke meth, crank, blow meth, blow crank, whatever it is, they're smoking drugs in the air. What made me snap on her, because it was, I said I was going to do it, but there's a lot of times I'm talking shit and I'm going to say I'm going to do something, I actually don't do it. But what made me actually punch her this time was because my daughter and I have an appointment today at 3:30. Because of all the smoke that people have been smoking around us, I'm thankful I learned exercises to clear it out of my lungs, out of my blood, out of my body cavity. My daughter doesn't have doesn't do those exercises. So now we have to go to an OBGYN to check to see if she possibly has cancer in her uterus, because she's had multiple periods in a month, and the first period was 2 weeks, and the second period came 2 weeks after that, and it was for 7 days, excruciating pain. Went to the emergency room, and my daughter is not sexually active. So the results of all of the smoking people have been doing around me made me punch her, because when I was 16, my mother passed away from colon cancer, that they misdiagnosed for 5 years. And having to go through this with my daughter today is one of the reasons why I punched her. Now, mind you, I never would have had that idea had she not planted that in my head spiritually last year. Last year when I started going back to the church, and I'm in the middle of my stuff, because, see, a lot of times when people do things to you, other people will vouch for them and say, oh, that's not that kind of person. No, that's not that kind of person to you. If you're not a threat to her in her kingdom and anything she's trying to accomplish, she's not going to do it to you. When you're not a threat to what somebody is trying to do, when you're not trying to shut that shit down, you're not a threat. And because you're not a threat, you don't have anything to worry about. And I'm looking at this girl trying to come at me, and it's like, she would never do that. She would never do that to you. She has come against everybody that I love and that has loved me in the last year in some of the most detrimental ways we've ever experienced in our life. Never have we ever experienced anything like this before in our life. The most heinous, the most evil, the most vicious attacks you could ever think of have happened to the people I love and that loved me this past year because of her. And I'm realizing, because I know I'm a threat to her kingdom, she attacks me. But now it's my daughter that's under attack. But remember last year, when I first started going back to church, she said, are you ready to fight me now? I'm like, oh, I'm not going to fight her. In the spirit. Because see, when you stop eating meat, you can hear what other people are speaking in the spirit. And I had stopped eating meat at that time. So it was around September, October, she first came to me and said, Are you ready to fight Loretta? Using somebody else's voice. I'm like, no, I ain't gonna fight her. I'm not gonna hit it. No, I'm not doing that. First lady, I'm not doing that. It was the constant harassment in the spirit that she started that nobody wants to talk about. And I know I'm not the only woman that happened to. I know I'm not the only woman that she said that to, because those of us who grew up in the church would know. A real first lady would never say that because they would know how to whip your ass regardless. You think I'm playing? I'm going to go back to the Woman That Are Loose Conference, 2001. A lady rushed the stage, and Sarita was the first one up, about to take baby girl out, okay? The security guards got to her before she got to Bishop Jakes. Every first lady that grew up with their husband that is in the big churches now know how to look out for somebody trying to come up on them, because they know what they've been through and they're ready to defend it. They know that. They know that they ain't going to do something to somebody because they understand the presence of who they are is already a threat to the enemy. So they are already expecting an attack to come because they know their presence is an attack to the enemy. Now, how you going to be up at night kidnapping folks as kids, human trafficking them, bringing them back dead, doing all this evil, heinous stuff, and not expect a punch? Especially when you're the first one that brought it to me. That never would have crossed my mind. Punching her would have never crossed my mind had she not put it there. And I am not normally around people this mean, because usually people are mean, but they're not this mean to me, because I don't give them that energy. People like to give back what they get. But in this situation, she has been constantly paying people to come bring me negative energy. She taught them how to hack my phone, taught them how to hack my bank account, taught them how to hack my Grubhub account, and has been teaching them on the internet. And then didn't she, a few months ago, post on the internet that she wanted to fight me after church that I never got? She did that a few months ago. What was it, March, April she did that? I never got the notification because I'd have shown up. But I never got the notification. So for people to think it was a sucker punch, no, it was something she asked for. Something she asked for, something she bargained for. Because bottom line is, if you know I'm a big girl, why are you as a little person antagonizing or harassing someone that is big? Why are you harassing me when you know I'm bigger than you? I don't make it my mission to go out and harass people. I don't make it my mission to go out and stalk people and smoke around them when I know that person has I don't even smoke. But still, I don't make it my mission in life to go out and attack people because I can or because somebody pays me. I got better things to do. I have better things to do. And so because she has enlisted all these people to spew hate towards me, at some point in time, people get sick of this shit. And they're going to take you up on your request. And that was your request to me, which is the reason why I punched you. Not only that, last year, Bishop told you to poke another bear. Bishop told you that you shouldn't mess with her because she's not the one to be played with. Because she has done it so many years before to other women. Breaking into our cars, cutting up our clothes, stealing our food stamps, messing with our cars, hacking our phones, making sure we can't get jobs. She's done that to so many other women that she has been threatened by because she must not have a good relationship with her mother whenever her mother was alive. That's the only way I could put it. Because how else or why else would you be attacking a single mother because you didn't get love from your mother. A single mother who's homeless with her child, why else would you be attacking them? So, bottom line is, and there's a guy over there smoking meth intentionally. I'm in Torrance, so yes, I'm not playing anymore. Smoking meth intentionally. I'm not emailing Bishop anymore. I'm just gonna call it like I see it, and it's gonna be what it's gonna be, because I'm not playing anymore. I'm sick of it. The concern for my daughter is too real. I'm praying that it's not cancer, but I'm definitely gonna explain my side of things. And bottom line is, if you don't want somebody to punch you, then don't ask them to punch you. Don't ask them to meet you to fight. Don't ask them, and it's a constant harassment in the spirit. Don't pinch their nerves. Don't grind their intestines. It's a constant attack in the spirit. And when people use their spiritual gifts to attack someone demonically, that's demonic. No simple ways to put it. Now, if Bishop chooses to stay next to her while she continues to tear people away from him that love him, that's not my business. It's not going to be me. And no, I won't be back at the city. No, I will not apologize, because she constantly, over the last year, harassed me and asked me. So, for everybody who says that shouldn't happen in the church, a lot of shit shouldn't happen in the church. But the main shit that shouldn't happen in the church is, if you're the first lady, don't ask people or don't harass people saying, you want to fight me now? You want to fight me now? Because that's what she's been doing for the last 10 years to several other women, and they didn't punch her. Because if they would have punched her, I wouldn't have had to. She's been doing that for the last 10 years to different women. And I saw a couple of women she did that to. And hell, those women were more prettier than me. Which goes back to show that she can't have another pretty face in the place. Threatened by another pretty face. And that's what the problem is with women, is you have to be the only pretty face in the place. No. You have to get over your own insecurities to deal with that, because there's always going to be somebody prettier in the place. Always going to be another woman that has curvier hips, a bigger butt, and larger breasts. There's always going to be somebody more prettier than you in the place. That's the issue we as women have to get over, because that's just life. There's going to be somebody that's going to look better than you, regardless of how they look. They're going to look better than you in some way, shape, or form. And you can't allow your jealousy to get you punched in the face. So that's what I wanted to say. And it took me, I still got on my clothes. It's been an ordeal, but thank God we moving to get to this doctor's appointment. But I wanted to definitely post that, because all of the harassment for the last 10 years that I've endured, all of the pain, the homelessness, the money, the starvation, the no money, the accounts hacked, the mail stolen, the phones hacked, the emails hacked, all of that has been because of Loretta Jones. And if you could go back and pinpoint each and every time shit went left, and you could say, it's because of that bitch, what would you do? So I'm going to leave it at that. I'm going to go ahead and post this so people know, there's two sides to every story, and she loves to play the victim, but she doesn't want people to say what she's doing to them for them to react to her. This was a complete reaction. Actually, it was a unexpected action, because I never thought I would. I mean, I talk shit like I do, but I'm actually a talker. I don't do things. This time I felt like I needed to, because my daughter's health is at stake. And that didn't change any of these people that she's backed by hate to keep doing shit. Backed by hate. So, y'all have a great day, and that's what I gotta say. Ooh, sorry, I had to put my hair up, but there was something else I wanted to add to this. Wow, it's shining. Okay, let me get to angle. Okay. There's something else I wanted to add. I want to talk about spiritual discernment for those who don't have it that would say she would never do this. My first question to you would be, have you paid your tithes? How often do you pay your tithes? How often do you give? Because when you give, all of that is connected to spiritual gifts. Because you're giving to God, but what you're getting back is a gift of discernment to see what's what. So everybody that would say, oh, she's never done that, how many times have you given in church? Are you a faithful tither? Do you give faithfully? Because if you give faithfully, your eyes of discernment would open up so wide that you would know which side you stand on. And that's the problem with a lot of people. You go to church and you want something in return for nothing. And he's not going to haggle you over paying tithes or giving money because it's a heart condition. It's based on what you want from God. And if you are not a consistent giver, you don't know what's going on. You just attending church. So if you give on a regular basis, then you'd have the spirit of discernment and you wouldn't be questioning anything else anybody says about somebody evil. If you don't give on a regular basis, you're in that other category. But I definitely want to make a distinction between those who give and those who don't give. Because giving opens up your spiritual awareness to knowing how to skirt and how to sidestep the enemy every time it comes. We've been through some hard shit, but ain't as been as hard as a lot of other people have been through. Because I've always been a giver. I've always tithed. I've always, when I had it, I had it. I paid my tithe. And the one person that helped me to not be upset or feel bad about not being able to tithe was Bishop. When I have it, I give it. When I don't worry about it because I know when I do, I give it. Okay? If you don't give, you really can't say nothing. Because you're not a member of the church. Your name is just on the roster, but you're not, you don't give, you don't pray. You don't even get it. And tithing can be getting up to pray 2 hours a day. 2 hours sometimes a week. Hell, get up and pray. Who you get up and pray for? Do you get up and pray for anybody? Because if you got up and pray for somebody, that can be considered tithe, giving your percent time to God. If you don't do that, you ain't going to get no spiritual awareness. But bottom line is, how much money do you give on a regular basis? And then when you calculate up how much money you give every week or every month, and you ain't got no spiritual discernment, that's your fault. If you got it, you know you're doing something right. But make sure you detect how much you know spiritually based on how much you give. Because if you were a giver, you'd be able to sidestep evil. If you were a giver, and it's not based on the fact that, oh, bishop don't want your money, you're not giving to the bishop. You're giving to the man of God because of the word of God. Now, I got to find someplace else to send my tithe because I'm not going back to the city. But based on what you know, how often have you been given? So when you get ready to step on her shoulders and agree with her, make sure you have been a faithful giver and tither. Y'all have a great day. Now I'm done.
She gave my daughter cancer for stopping her for over years. That's why I did that.
Good evening, Facebook. I'm sorry, I'm trying to get to a place where I can still be on the Wi-Fi and post. But, I've been seeing, people sharing and making comments. I've gotten messages in my DMs that people want to beat my ass because I punched the First Lady. I feel like the message that everybody is missing is she wasn't acting like the First Lady when she was harassing me. She wasn't acting like the First Lady when she was stalking me. She wasn't acting like the First Lady when she was hacking my bank account
or my cell phone or my emails or my Grubhub or my Uber or crawling under my car in December, taking out my brakes. She wasn't acting like the First Lady then. She wasn't acting like a celebrity when she was putting cameras in the bathrooms, watching us shower. She wasn't acting like a celebrity then. And everybody is coming to her. Not everybody. A lot of people are coming to her back, but a lot of people, I'm seeing a lot of support. And I just want to say thank you. Because I understand a lot of people who have something negative to say don't pay tithes. They don't pay tithes. They don't have any spiritual insight, spiritual in-depth, spiritual awareness to know that people can smile on your face on Sunday morning after kicking in your door Friday night, kidnapping your kid, and bringing them back to you dead. One thing people fail to realize is secondhand smoke does cause cancer. Okay? Secondhand smoke, when you're around enough secondhand smoke, it does cause cancer. It does. And it's more deadly with meth, which is the reason why food stamps are stolen. Because if you're around a lot of meth, when people are smoking meth around you and you have not eaten, it causes death. That's why meth is highly illegal. That's why people lose their houses when they are found out to be smoking meth, because the state will come in and take their house from them. That was the biggest scare I had, that because I knew we had been around so much second-hand smoke, my biggest fear was cancer. I thank God we went to the doctor. It's not cancer. But that was my biggest fear. And because cancer does run in my family, and I'm not justifying anything, because bottom line is she put the idea to get punched in my head. She was the one that did all the stalking. She was the one that did all the behaviors. And I see people I've met since I was 10 support me, since I was 10, because they know that was never something I would do. Am I proud of what I did? No. I did what I had to do to get this person to stop stalking me. Now, I don't know if it's going to work or not, but I did what I had to do to get this person to stop stalking me. The police couldn't help me. The judges couldn't help me. Every time I reported it, it couldn't help me. Bishop couldn't help me. I wrote letters to Bishop, gave them to security guards. None of those people could help me stop her from not only crawling under our car after I wrote the letters, but continuously blowing secondhand smoke around me and my daughter. No one could help. So when you see somebody resolve to punching that's not in their character, in their disposition, in their history, then you know they've been pushed to that point. And so for all the comments, I don't care what you say about me, because I already know y'all don't pay your tithes. I said it. I already know y'all don't pay your tithes. And you're backing somebody who's just as broke as you. Damn, that was the truth. Because if you pay your tithes, then God would lead you spiritually to not only financial awareness, but to spiritual awareness. If you paid your tithes, you would know that the word says, follow me as I follow Christ. If you ain't following Christ, I ain't got to follow you. And that's the bottom line. So, am I worried about backlash? It's already here. I don't care. I didn't realize that first video was going to blow up like it did. I've never had anyone blow up before, and I've had someone ask me to speak on the live, which I'm going to do because I feel like it needs to be discussed. Because this is how we, as the black community, stay ignorant to the things that are going on around us by the people we supposedly love and respect. And I actually respected her at one point. I did until all of this shit started happening. And it's not things that were in my head. It was things that I saw, things that I heard, things that I felt so strongly that I could not shake. And when you become more spiritually aware because you pay your tithes, or you stop eating meat, pick one, then you'll be able to understand what I'm talking about. But I am going to do a podcast whenever they ask me, we meet up, I'm going to do it, because I want people to understand where we fall short. And if the enemy comes into our church Just because they smile and dress nice don't mean they're for us. Let me say that again. Just because someone smiles and dress nice and they come to our church doesn't mean they're for us. And we as black people need to be spiritually aware as well as physically aware of the people we allow in our space and in our homes, because if that wrong person gets in your home, it can destroy the entire house. So you need to make sure you understand what your agenda is, and when someone else comes in with their agenda, you make sure you stay focused on your agenda, because at the end of the day, you're the one that's going to have to live with your decision. And everyone that is, this is not even to everyone, this is specifically to those who were with Bishop for years and you gave up Bishop to follow her. You gave up your promise. You gave up something so great that God had in store for you, that once you find out what it is literally going to shake you to your core. And I found out this weekend what the promise was, and I'm going to hold on to my promise. I'm not going to be emailing or contacting the church, and no, I'm not going back to the City of Refuge. I've said that before. But I'm going to hold on to my promise. And I'm going to definitely get to my promise, because I've been through too much to give up my promise. And that's what I wanted to tell y'all, that no matter what you face, don't give up on the promise, because it will come to pass, because His word won't return to you void. So y'all have a great evening. I didn't realize I was going to post again tonight. I saw some of the comments, which I was glad to finally see, because usually they're blocked and I can't see anything. I never see any comments. I never see any shares. I never see any likes. And this time I'm able to see them, and I'm thankful for it. And for everybody that says, yeah, she's a big girl. She knew she was a big girl when she crawled her ass into my car and took out my brakes. She knew I was a big girl when she stole my food stamps. She knew I was a big girl when she hacked my car, broke my seat, broke in my car, stole my clothes, cut up my clothes, poked holes in my clothes. She knew I was a big girl then. She wouldn't act like the first lady then, nor was she acting like somebody famous. And if you always got new clothes, why are you over here messing with my clothes when I'm sleeping in my car? You get new clothes every time you ask. Why are you messing with me? And that's the part nobody wants to recognize or even acknowledge. Well, you just want to look at the position. Just because some people are in the position doesn't mean they're qualified to have it. Because what you should do is you should look at other first ladies that have been in the position. And all you see right now is an imitation of what should be there. And it's not even a good imitation at that. Y'all have a good evening.
I know St. James is watching. Oh, messy ass.